Welcome back to Paul's Pod. It's 2023. We've got the first podcast of the year. Firstly, I just wanted to say a big thank you to everyone that supported me for the last 2 years. It's been crazy. Things are growing, and it's just incredible to see how far this is going. When I just started this in my uni bedroom, chatting a load of shit with my mates. But yeah, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone. It's going to be a good year. Got a lot of stuff planned for this year. I've got something cool coming out at the end of this month, which I won't reveal just yet, but you'll know very, very soon. But today, I thought we'd start off this year by bringing on one of my good friends, Jack Grant.
Yes, Paul Pod.
Here he
Let's
is.
go.
My guy. How are you, Jack?
Yeah, good, mate. Yourself?
I'm good, bro. It's a lot of people might not know this, but I think some people might know this, especially some guys in Liverpool. But we actually lived together for a few months in Liverpool in the fighter dorms of Four
The good
Corners
days. It was good, man.
in the trenches.
Oh, it was unreal. It was brilliant, wasn't it? What a
Oh,
time.
mate, do you know what? I learned so much from that experience. That was such a, I mean, being surrounded by you guys, especially like for someone who like me to come in and getting to see how hard you guys train, just gave me a completely new perspective, a newfound respect for people like you. Because, mate, the fight game's no joke, bro.
Yeah, it's heavy, isn't it? We was going hard as well in there and every day, and then obviously living amongst all the fighters and that. To be fair, it's good. It just rubs off, doesn't it? 'Cause it's like everyone
Yeah.
in there is strong-minded, and when you're just all around strong minds, you just get stronger. So, yeah, it was really good.
So you're currently in your academy right now, aren't you?
Yeah, man, I had to come to my gym. All my brother's kids are at the house. Honestly, they're so loud. And they have no respect for me. So if I tell them to fuck off, mate,
How old
they'll
are they?
torture me. Yeah, we've got one that's like 111, 1'8", and then he's met a lass with some kids as well. The youngest is 5, and there's 2 daughters, but I think they're around 10, 11. But
I've
yeah,
got a little sister that's
mayhem.
11, and they just constantly want your attention.
Yeah, yeah. No, mate, I'm just stood there, and because they know I do a bit of fighting, every one of them just punches me in the back. I just feel this on my back. Oh man, follow me around,
So
punching.
tell me about Grant Combat Academy. How long have you had it going for now? Because you've just moved into your new place, haven't you?
Yeah, just moved into a new place. Been in here around 3. I think it's coming up to the 4th month. So it's been amazing, to be fair. Just actually having our own space and having a full-time gym has made a huge difference to the atmosphere and the team. Like the guys now are getting so good, so quick. It's unreal to see. And yeah, I've had the academy 3 years, no 4 years, but then obviously COVID hit pretty early stages and kind of nearly killed us, to be fair. And I wasn't sure what life was going to go back to, obviously, like everyone else, and it was pretty tough. So anyway, I overstayed my agreement in the first building. They give me a bit of extra time. I found somewhere else. I rented out like a hall, but man, it was we had to like battle just to get a session booked on that time and that time, and we just grew it really big in there. And I just thought if we bust out the walls, we'll get a proper gym and then go from there. And yeah, in the new place now, and it's just growing.
What made you want to open up your own academy so soon? Because if you started 4 years ago, you're 30 now, so you must have opened it, like 26, 27. It's
Yeah,
fairly young for someone who's, in the prime of their professional career.
yeah. To be honest, mate, it was more like obviously I'm probably one of the only athletes. Well, actually, me and Madders. There's also Dean Patterson. We all travel quite a lot. But other than that, all the other athletes, all the other coaches haven't really travelled that much. So we've gone out seeking knowledge, bringing it back, and I just reached a height in Jiu Jitsu where I thought it's like I can actually produce the place I wanted to have when I first started. So and then also it's a base for me. I can do my own training here, and I've got some good lads, and they push me now, so I can come here and get me rounds, and then I'll just travel 3-4 days a week or something for other striking, other professionals.
Do
So
you
yeah,
feel as
that's what
though,
it was really. I just wanted to make a base at home. You
yeah,
know.
do you feel like because like you said, I remember you telling me like when you were growing up as well, there wasn't really anyone in Grimsby, especially from like if you're talking about the highest level, like places to train and stuff like that. Do you feel
Yeah.
as though because you're from Grimsby and you've had such a successful career in martial arts that you kind of maybe owe it to yourself, but also owe it to Grimsby to kind of give back?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely want to bring it back, and I want to make it more accessible. Like, I want to be the first guy in this town to produce my own black belts in Jiu Jitsu, and I've been umming and ahhing with the idea of making this half MMA as well. And I think I could do a good job of it. But it's more, I quite like the vibe with Jiu Jitsu, and I feel like you get less knuckle draggers, and yeah, if anything, you just get loads of nerdy skaters. It's pretty cool, and and yeah, now they're getting really slick on the ground, and it's just good seeing them develop. I I, I just I wish I had this when I first started because we're like kind of the arse end of nowhere for sport. I love where I'm from, but we're the arse end of nowhere for sport. And if you want to really progress to the next level, you have to dare to get out the town. And early on that seems like a daunting feeling, and you know, but eventually I had some good teammates and friends like Mark DeCasey, Scott Ascombe, and they dragged me down, further afield, started going to Leeds, training with Danny Mitchell, and it just really opened my eyes up on how little I knew. And people were saying I was good back then, and it was amazing how little I knew. So yeah, bring it back now. I am the most experienced grappler in the town and MMA fighter in the town. So there's no one really that's done what I've done. Not yet. And who knows? Maybe I'll be that guy in the future who produces someone even better than me. And that's my goal. You know.
I think it's a pretty good goal to have as well. I mean, what was it like growing up in Grimsby, especially you know with like you said the lack of training and having to go outside? Like, was growing up in Grimsby tough? Is that why you
Yeah.
decided to go down the path of fighting?
Yeah, as you can imagine. I mean, if you don't think Grimsby, growing up here was tough, you're crazy. It's like it's such a little town, so everyone knows everyone. There's not a lot to do. There's not, there is now actually. There's a lot more opportunity in everything now. But like when I was growing up, there wasn't a lot of opportunity at all. I can remember when I was at school and cause I was just shit at school, so they'd be like, "What are you going to do when you're older?" I'd be like, "I'm going to be a pro fighter." And they'd be like, "No, you're not." I'm fucking, and all these years later, I've only ever been a pro fighter. I've not really been anything else ever. I've just lived exactly how I want to live, doing exactly what I want to do. Like, it's not hard for me to wake up in the morning and come down here, teach these guys, drive down to Sunderland to go train with some of my other teammates. Like, it's fucking easy, It's easy. I love it. So I'd hate to be one of those guys that just daren't take the risk to do the things you want to do. I'll never be that
Is
guy.
Isn't it crazy how when you grow up in the school system, like that's kind of the only thing they drill into you is that, oh, you're never gonna get anywhere unless you read books and study and go to
Yeah,
sixth
yeah,
form and go to university, which is the biggest load of bollocks anyway. Especially like the fight game, like martial arts, and not even just the fight game, just martial arts in general. Like you're not gonna get anywhere by studying. Well, I mean, obviously you'll take on knowledge if you study and you learn about sport, but like you need to actually just be active. Like it's active stuff. It's not
yeah,
book
yeah. No,
smart.
for sure. Yeah, like school don't teach you to like look outside the box. Like they kind of like point you in the direction that would be generic for most. Do you know what I mean? So like you start thinking of sport, and as a kid in school, like that could probably be the scariest thing to dare to try do in case I don't know, you have no money, it's hard, isn't it? I think as long as you understand that sport is hard, whatever you want to do to get elite at, it's going to be hard as fuck, yeah? And as long as you understand that, like, you can do it. You just got to bite the bullet and just actually go for it. Like, it's more just daring to do it than anything. Like, everyone can do it. You just got to dare to do it. So, look at me, 30, fucking still grafting, still chipping away, trying to get a little bit further like a lot of people. And yeah, I just fucking love it. It's exciting.
Growing up, who was like the person that you looked up to, and who was the person that you saw daring to be great that kind of made you want to be like them? Was it someone that was close to you, or was it when you're growing up watching UFC? What was it?
Yeah, so I got sent to boxing. So I was really young. I was just a hypo kid. Got sent to boxing when I was 11, and I just didn't look back. And there was a guy in there called Stuart Fleet, who was one of the better professionals from the town, one of the more experienced guys. So just knuckled down with him, and just from literally when I was 11, like he just always would tell me like I could be a world champion and things like that. Like, and I just used to look at him thinking he's fucking crazy. But yeah, he just installed a lot of self belief in myself, and and speaks a lot of wisdom. And I just always looked up to him, and yeah, I've just never looked back. I'm still in touch with him now. Like I still go whack pads with him now. So he's built like a little house. A little mini gym, and yeah, it's sick. So I'm
It's
actually
nice to
due to
see.
visit him
Like,
soon, hopefully.
it's amazing how much of an impact someone you can have on someone, especially as a kid.
Yeah,
Um, I was actually I spoke to Chris Duncan not long ago, and he was telling me how like all he ever wants to do with his life is to be some form of a hero to a child that's growing up and have some sort of an impact
yeah, yeah,
on them. And like the smallest things you'll never even realize can make the biggest impact. Like I got a message off this Scottish person who is this mum to this kid that Chris did like a one-on-one MMA PT with, and this mom was just basically wrote a massive paragraph about how he changed Chris changed her son's life by just making him fall in love with something that he had, like he was struggling to fall in love with other sports, but Chris did one MMA PT with him, and he just wants to be like Chris. He wants to be a professional fighter, or just wants to be around MMA. And like you said, you were 11 when you got that given to you. It's so powerful when you receive just simple words,
yeah.
but at such
When
a young age,
someone
it
like
can go
me,
such a
to
long
be
way.
honest, it's probably when I needed it. I needed it really young, because if I hadn't have found it like young, I wouldn't have known that I actually liked something. Do you know what I mean? I feel like a lot of kids grow up just not really knowing what they like. You know, every kid's just on a phone or a fucking tablet now, and
Yeah.
like I don't feel like they do a lot now. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy. It's like totally different generation. Like my childhood would be so different to these now. So it's crazy.
I I'm
They're
only
doomed.
23, but I think I was
They're doomed if they don't put the
I was
iPads down. Get off fucking
I
TikTok.
know. It's fucked, like kids of this generation. I was speaking to my mate Ben about it the other day, and like I think I was probably the last of the generation of like my childhood was like literally out all the time, like out playing in the fields, playing football in the streets, like just being out and being active. Like I
Yeah.
got my first phone when I was maybe like 13, and it was a flip phone. Like you got kids nowadays who are like
Yeah, mine was about
9 or
big.
even younger. Yeah.
Like that.
Or if you're not getting an iPhone, you've got an iPad by like 6 or 7. It's
Yeah.
crazy. And
No, it's
do you know
crazy.
what it is as well? A lot of it comes down to the parents, and I think as well, because you get a lot of parents that'll just, oh, yeah, throw the iPad. I can't be asked dealing with them. Let's just fucking get them distracted, type of thing.
Yeah, yeah. It's easy, innit? I guess it's easy. And I guess it is hard
But
sometimes. Cause, like then, I'd have thrown 50 iPads at them to get rid of them earlier. Oh, my brother's
but
kids just fucking iPads. I'd be dishing them out, man, to get them out my grill.
but then the flip side of that is, if you look at sport, especially, we talk about jujitsu specifically. There's so much access now to videos and competitions and fighters that jiu-jitsu has kind of exploded over the last few years. I mean, it's always been well, I mean, it wasn't really until the UFC really where I think it really became kind of more popular, and then
That's
over
where
the
it was
last few
seen.
years,
Right? That's where it was seen. Like
yeah,
obviously the OG fights that you see where one's wearing a gi, and like I feel like that obviously was the introduction, and then how it's like surpassed that now, and you've got like Gordon Ryan and B Team and all that. I'm absolutely freezing, by the way. So if you hear my voice, it's because I'm freezing. It's cold in here. I'm like, but yeah, like B Team, um, obviously, yeah, Danaher, all that influence. It's just blown up. It's just blown up, and then ADCC. Like everyone seems to know what it is now. People are starting to see it as cool. You get a lot of influencers doing it, and a lot of celebrities, and you know it's good, actually good to see those famous people or those famous influencers falling in love with it and actually, you know, showing the world it, like outing it. It's good.
And also, like you see in the competitions and the money that's being pumped into the sport now, you're getting multiple people who can just have a professional career in just grappling,
Yeah,
which no one's really seen ever before. And look at, I mean, Gordon Ryan, especially. Gordon Ryan's making millions right now,
mm.
just grappling.
Yeah, he's like the highest paid, isn't he? I mean, there's always been a lot of millionaires in Jiu Jitsu and stuff, but always been like people that have had successful academies. You know, that was like the wealthy guys before. It was always when they had an academy. Gordon Ryan had no academy and just earned it purely from Jiu Jitsu. So it shows it can be done. Unfortunately, I ain't got his memory, so I'll never be a millionaire from grappling. But yeah, fucking hell. If I could remember everything I learned, Jesus.
What's it like for someone like you who has arguably got probably the best jiu-jitsu in the country? Like, what's it like seeing the growth of jiu-jitsu in the UK?
Yeah, I just think it's unbelievable. Like, you know, it's cool to be considered, you know, one of the top names or whatever. You know, if people throw my hat into that, it's always, you know, a good compliment to me. And yeah, like look at like O'Flanagan, how fucking he just went to ADCC and he's taking out legends and yeah, like UK grappling is so strong. Ellis Younger uh, just got bronze at the world class in Sunderland. It's like jiu jitsu is so accessible now, and you have all these dead good gyms just cropping up everywhere. Like hopefully my gym will start to get suggested as one of those top gyms as well. And yeah, just got to keep growing. Just got to keep, you know, sky's the limit.
So you actually were the ADCC British champion. Was it in 2019?
Yeah, I think it was 2019. Yeah, met
2019.
Lloyd Cooper in the finals, another amazing grappler from round this way, and yeah, it was pretty sick, man. I managed to submit everyone, and obviously a big win at the end. I want to enter that again. Actually, like the medals are cool, and my goal is actually I want to try win trials. That's my goal. If I can do
Do you
that,
ever like
I'm pretty happy.
do you how much consideration do you take into competing abroad? Because I know that you try to stay pretty active in the UK with your competitions, but have you ever
Yeah,
competed abroad for grappling?
yeah. I've been to Amsterdam. I've been to Vienna, and that's about it really. Something I want to do a lot more, to be honest. I've been speaking with the team here, starting to build a big team. A lot of them wanting to do some of the more major comps. So hopefully, travel as a team, go smash them, smash
Can
everyone.
I throw out a suggestion?
You want to tag along?
Have you heard of
Come on, come.
well, I
We'll
mean,
have a party
my
after.
grappling might yeah, my grappling might not be enough to face the team, but no, my have you heard of high rollers?
Yeah, yeah, high rollers. Yeah, yeah.
See,
It's crazy.
I think what would be because the thing is with high rollers, right? Obviously, for people that don't know, it's a massive jiu-jitsu brand that's been growing the last few years, and the whole concept of the brand is everyone just comes and gets super fucked up, super high, and everyone competes for a pound of weed.
You
That's
have to
like
rip
if
a
you
bong
win,
before, don't
you
you? I think.
yeah, I'm pretty sure. Well, they go right when I was there, it
Rip
was
a bong and
crazy.
then
They
grapple.
literally have like
Fucking hell, I'd be dead.
But mate, like, there's no, I don't think. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think there's been any British grapplers that have competed on it, and I think it would be sick. You might have to get Carl on the phone and suggest like a Team UK versus Team US
Yeah, that'd be pretty sick.
high
Love that.
rollers competition. That'd be pretty sick.
I'd never go. Like, I'd never go. Obviously, I've been to Amsterdam, so It's just like going to a cafe and having a roll, I guess. But yeah,
how
that'd be
how
pretty.
uh, how important was it for the brand ADCC, sorry, to come to England in 2019? Like how does event like that grow jiu-jitsu in the
To
country?
be
Because you
honest,
saw how important the last one was in
yeah,
Vegas.
that's like the major one. So there's just like loads of little off casts to that. So like it's like kind of like a British Open what I won, but they just have the ADCC medal and ADCC, like obviously it's their show, it's their version of it, and you can do them all over. They're actually quite popular. So yeah, I'd actually like to travel and do some of those as well. So like they do like ADCC France, like things like that. So it'd be a pretty good opportunity to just travel to do those, and it'd be fun. But yeah, it's
Do
not
you
as
do you
it's
think
like ADCC or the trials like that. They're like two separate
yeah.
things because the main ADCC is the Olympics of our sport, and yeah, if you can win the trials, like you're unbelievable.
Yeah, do you think that because you're wanting to grow your academy, do you think that obviously you need to be at the forefront, like you need to kind of show them how it's done to grow the academy, so you need to kind of be out there all the time and
Yeah,
get your exposure for yourself, because then the exposure on yourself exposes more onto your
onto the
academy.
gym.
Is that how
Yeah.
you see it?
Um, I think that'll just like I've never really looked at it like that, but I know that that would be like the organic way of it. Like if I do well, obviously the gym will do well. Like I'm aware of that, and yeah. To be honest, I just do it because I love it. I've never really thought of it like that. If it weren't for the fact that I kind of like accidentally opened this, I didn't really ever intend on having a gym. I used to teach PTs, and it got to the point where I had like 6 people that I took to the guy that grades me, and he graded them to blue belt. So I started thinking, fucking hell, I've got like 6 blue belts. And then obviously a few of them started getting purple belts. I had like 3 purple belts. And I just thought, all these guys was booking in with me regular, just paying privates, constantly. I just thought, fucking hell, I could pay a gym. I could literally have a gym now. So kind of just happened organically, and yeah, that's how I want my like success to be as well. Just organic, just off the back of me, feeling motivated to do it and just living it, and that's what I want to do.
I think you're on the right track, that's for sure.
You can't force
You are
anything, can
kind of
you know what I mean? That's the way I
no,
look at it.
you
Don't
can't.
force it. Just like look at me fighting when it's me fighting. When I've been doing my best, I've just loved it. I've been dead happy. I've been enjoying it, and just like a happy fighter is a dangerous one, and just be happy to be there and just be in the moment and just go there and just know you can smash anybody.
Do you
Especially on
think
the day I can
you've
fucking take out anyone. I'm so confident that I can hang at the top of any organisation. And yeah, I just want to have my opportunities. So hopefully this year we get some big ones, and I'll be back on track.
so let's actually delve into your fighting career. So I mean, 18 professional wins and 17 finishes is ridiculous. You are a super entertaining fighter,
Fucking
always come to
powerful,
fight.
sometimes
Skinny power.
you need power. Sometimes I'm
Like,
powerful.
did you touched on about a happy fighter is a dangerous fighter. Do you feel as though there's been times where you've kind of maybe gone into fights where you've maybe overthought things and you probably weren't as fluid and as relaxed
Yeah,
as
yeah.
you kind of think you wanted to
Fuck
be?
yeah, like at the end of the day, like you're fighting all the time, but actual life outside of fighting, like that doesn't stop. So just like every fighter, we have our ups and downs, and there's times when you've got to rock up to a fight and it's the last place on earth you want to be because something's going so shit on the outside, but you know that it's the right thing to do to get to the next place that you truly want to be, and you just rock up anyway and give it your best. You're never going to have your perfect day like every day, so you just got to go. If you don't go, you don't know. No fucking rhyme meant there, but it's pretty good.
You had a bit of a frustrating year in 2022. I've seen some of your injuries, and I know that the fight game is just peppered full of injuries. Anyway, so many fighters are injured all the time.
Yeah,
You were scheduled to fight once this year, or was it twice? I know it was once in Abu Dhabi. I don't think you were scheduled for another fight this year before that, were you?
I actually had, I think it's 4 fights that just. So I actually had
Just fell
before
apart.
the last one that I was like absolutely praying to make that fight. Um, yeah, I had like 3 letdowns. Like some of them just promises, and then obviously some of them I actually missed because of something else. Uh, so I ended up having a fucking dry year, and it was fucking shit, really. But just part of it, I can't feel too sorry for myself, but it was a bit tough. And then the most annoying thing is everyone comes up to me and they're like, "Oh, you retired?" I'm like, "Fucking hell." I had a fight in a year, you cunt. Like, fuck you. Like, I'm fucking gutted. Mate, I get it all the time. I even get messages and they're asking me if I'm retired. And I'm thinking, fucking hell, man. Like, I didn't fight for a year. You don't even know me or know what's fucking wrong with me. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I've had a few injuries. Um, I'm actually booked to have an MRI on two of the places that I'm injured most. And, yeah, hopefully up from there. Once I actually know what's wrong with me, I can start fixing it. And I'm back on my S&C as well at Unit 1. I'm in there, so obviously injury prevention. I'm going to start looking to ramp my S&C up to 4 times a week. Um, you know, obviously not hard every day, but a lot of mobility, a lot of injury prevention, and I want to get fucking strong as well. So throw a few big lifts in there, and yeah, like I've never really been one to, you know, consistently do my S&C, but I definitely want to make that my goal from now on, especially because I have got some injuries and yeah, I feel like I need to just live that lifestyle and just keep it up.
You've fought so many great guys. I mean, for someone who's 30, you've got a shitload of experience. Fought, like you said, at the top of very, very good. Yeah, you fought at the top of a lot of good promotions. I think I remember having a conversation with you when we lived together about the stage of your career that you're at right now, and you were kind of saying to me, correct me if I'm wrong, but you obviously the path for most fighters is obviously that everyone wants to get to the UFC, but as we're seeing also with the growth of other promotions, and how there's a lot of promotions that also pay probably better than the UFC, but obviously you just don't have the same maybe nostalgic or the same aura of fighting in maybe the best promotion. What's kind
Yeah,
of your take on where you'd like to take your career next?
like for me, like I'd be lying if I said it won the UFC. I'm just like everyone else, you know. I only ever started this because I watched BJ Penn. He like flying kneed some Japanese fella. Might fuck knows what he is. I've butchered that probably, but yeah. Anyway, flying kneed him, TKO'd him. It was so fast that I just couldn't believe it. I was like, oh, I want to do UFC. I started going around telling everyone I want to do UFC. Like, where do you do it? Started Googling it, and there just wasn't anywhere. And when I started college later on, somebody told me they was doing it, and I just went down, followed them, and just didn't look back, mate. Just didn't look back. And then, once I started actually leaving this town and traveling, that was when, I realized what a beginner I truly was. And yeah, it was, a big change for me. It was good. It was good. It's been fun.
How important is it to go outside in different countries and learn new styles, and like especially for MMA because there's so many different aspects. I mean, I know that you've trained in America, you've trained in Holland, you've trained other places. Like, how important is it to become a complete fighter?
Yeah, I just think, you've got to go out there. You got to look outside the box. Like what we're saying with school, like school sends you down a generic direction. Stay in the same town and only see the same things off the same people. Like, how are you ever really going to know what's right? Go have a look round, be open minded, you know, and just be a student. Just keep that mentality of you can learn off anyone, and I think if you've got that mentality, you can do really well at this or any sport. To be honest, so you've got to do that.
What's been the most? interesting and exciting part of your MMA journey so far?
Um, yeah, it's an hard
Well,
one
I
to be.
imagine there's been a few.
Like, what's that? Sorry.
I can imagine there's been a few.
Oh, mate, it's been fucking wild. Like, to be honest with you, yeah, some of the experiences you have in this game, like not just my own career, just the other country you're invested in as well. And yeah, it's crazy, man. I don't know. I don't feel like I can answer that just yet because I'm still going. I'm not fucking retired, and and yeah, hopefully, next year, like hopefully, I've got some more good stories and some more good experiences. And yeah, this game's been fucking wild for me. I've had a lot of highs and lows. I've tasted all sides of the sport, all the fucking bad sides. You know what I mean? It's like it's been brutal, and yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way though. Like, you know, I'm a tough cunt. Really, I keep at it and I keep going and going, and I don't really care who I fucking fight. I'll fight anyone. And I think that's why people like watching me, and people that are close to me know that, and yeah, they love it. So yeah, I'm just myself.
That's the most important thing, being yourself. Do you think that the few comments that you received about being retired, do you think that helps
It's
keep that
fucking
fire
done my
burning in
head
your belly?
in. Oh fucking hell! Now I've let people know on here. They'll get more messages.
I'm not
It's
fucking
like when you
leaving.
advertise a fight and you put the date, and everyone messages you, "What's the date?" Or like, "What time you're
Oh.
fighting?" and you've put the time on. You know. Now they know I'm retired, apparently. So yeah. But yeah,
Oh,
we'll be
is there
back.
is there any places that you'd like to you fight in? Like any? Because I remember you saying that Vegas was a spot that you wanted to fight in, but
Yeah,
was there anywhere else? We saw Pride and Bellator recently do a collab in Japan
yeah,
again.
yeah,
Like, is somewhere like that somewhere? Does that some? Is that
yeah.
somewhere
No,
that's I
I'd love
can't get
to
my
fight.
words out.
I'd absolutely love to fight in Vegas. I was like this fucking close to fighting in Vegas not so long back earlier in the year, if you remember. And yeah, unfortunately, it is what it is. But next year, this year, sorry. Yeah, we're gonna get some big fights, and hopefully, I get to travel. And yeah, what's better than doing what you love and getting to see a little bit of the world as well? Some different countries, and it's what it's about. Get out there, and get stuck in.
Did you see last night's big announcement? Cyril Gane against John Jones, the
Oh
return
shit!
of
Yeah,
Big
yeah,
Bones Jones.
unbelievable, unbelievable. He's a fucking giant.
For,
I can't believe how
he
big
is
he
a
is.
giant.
It's huge.
Mate, this is the thing. Like, people, I was speaking to Dylan, one of my good friends, Dylan Murphy, and he had an opinion on the fight, and he said that he thinks that Cyril Gane is going to beat John Jones because of the ring rust and all this certain stuff. And
Yeah, well,
respectfully,
everyone's
I completely
100%
disagree.
on that, but I don't think you can sleep on Cyril in this fight because, like you say, how do you know you're going to see the same John Jones? It's been a long time. How do you know you're going to see the same John Jones? He's not even the same weight now. He's also increased weight. Is he going to perform like the old version of him? I think John Jones was the best ever in his peak, right? Whether he's still in his peak or not, I don't know. Whether we're going to see more, but in his peak, I think he's the best ever to have done it. And the question is he the same? That's the only question. I think if he is the same, he beats him. But if not, don't sleep on that fight because Cyril's fucking unbelievable. So yeah,
Cyril's
don't sleep
striking
on
is crazy, bro. I think the way I look at the fight is obviously that's the biggest question. Like I said, John Jones has been out for 3 years. They're moving up in the weight, but I think John Jones is also a very, very smart fighter. I think he always knows where he's at, and I
yeah,
know people will point to his last few fights because he didn't look too great in his last few fights against Smith, against Santos, and against Reyes.
yeah. Reyes,
But
that's another one. Like when you look at those fights, they was hitting him a lot. Cyril Gain even better at striking than them guys. So it's super
the way I
interesting.
see it, though, It's a super interesting fight. And granted, I don't come from a lot of expert. I don't claim to be an expert in MMA. However, from what I think, you look at
I don't know.
the
You know more
guys
than me.
that John Jones.
You know more than me. I don't. I hardly follow it. I just do it.
Nah, you look you you look at the guys that John Jones has fought previous to those guys and the caliber of how big those fights were. I just think John Jones wasn't really asked. I think he was just looking for the record, but he wasn't really asked about who they
Maybe he
were
was.
and what they
You
possessed.
know, I've heard
Yeah.
listening to a podcast and that was said on there. So you know, you got to take things like
No,
that into consideration. Maybe he wasn't fucking motivated. Maybe it was too easy sitting at the top. You know, everyone needs a bit of new challenge every now and then. So
yeah.
you
And
know,
I
get
think
to
also, the big thing is now is what's he going to be like moving up in weight? Well, when you look at people that have moved up in weight, they normally, they don't take too long. Like if you look at Adesanya when he tried moving up in weight to fight, he fought not Yuri, he fought Yan for the 205 block. He kind of just didn't really bulk up. He just didn't really cut weight. Whereas John Jones has spent the last 2-3 years becoming a natural heavyweight. So
yeah.
it's not like John Jones has just put on weight over like 6, 7, 8 months and gone to heavyweight. Like he's actually spent years, building up his body frame, and he's
I've
been
done it
training
properly.
like he's done it
Well,
properly. And like I
let's
said,
say
his IQ is
top
fucking
and you got that
phenomenal.
money. You know, obviously it's John Jones you're talking about as well. So you know the work ethic's there. Like there's no question there. But he's got the money to have the best fucking training he needs. He can afford everything. You know, so like that's always a scary thought as well. You know, someone with that kind of motivation with money to finance the top training in every area. You know, that's what you're dealing with, and it's yeah, it's scary. I mean, did you see him running on that running machine at that size? Fucking ridiculous. Like, you know, and not only that, you're looking at a guy where all his brothers are top athletes as well, major athletes. So
Yeah.
there's something in the genes, and he's a freak of nature, and yeah, one of a kind.
Oh mate, John Jones is just wow, what a specimen. I mean, I think a lot of people will say, and I agree that I think he's the greatest of all time. I know people obviously have, you look at people like what Anderson Silva did, Khabib, but I think what Jones did in the manner he was doing it, in the,
Unbelievable.
the time, the time, mate, the guys that he were fighting were fucking killers, and he was
All the
finishing them all.
yeah, he stopped all the guys that have been champions. Like no one's done what he's done. He's the best. He is the best. You know.
And to do it at the age he was doing, and to do it at the age he was doing whilst he was sniffing coke every weekend. This is what
Yeah.
people say, right? People go on about, oh, he was taking PEDs and all this
Maybe
and
that's where
that,
I'm
which
fucking missing out. Maybe that's what I need to do, and I'll be the best in the world.
have a bag before the fight. Nah, but obviously a lot of people can point to maybe, he won't be the greatest because of his PEDs and all this sort of stuff. But I also then just say, mate, look, like, you know, he's not the only one that has taken PEDs in the sport.
Yeah, yeah.
Lots of great
Sure.
people have taken PEDs, which isn't a good excuse, don't get me wrong, but he was also partying a shitload and just abusing his body by drinking and
Mate, if
sniffing
you'll
and
put
partying
coke in
and
your system, you'll put out in your system. Like, you know,
yeah,
you're willing to sniff something that you don't really truly know what the fuck it is anyway. You're willing to put that
but
in
just
yourself.
think,
But like, you know, steroid, fucking jab a steroid. You know, like you're not going to be asked, are you? If you do one, you're going to do the other, and
yeah,
yeah. Also,
I
PEDs don't win fights either, and
no,
that's one of my arguments is because you could fucking PED any of John Jones's opponents up to the fucking eyeballs, and whether they beat John Jones or not, a peaked John Jones, I doubt it. So it's
highly
not the
doubt it.
be all end all. It's definitely a fucking assistance. It definitely does improve people's results, but like you know, I actually believe there are a lot of clean fighters out there as well. Like, I feel like everyone's dead quick to, if they see a fucking ab, just because they ain't got abs. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, he's got an ab, he must be on gear. Like, you know, or, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, man.
Everyone's got a different body as well.
Just
Everyone's bodies are completely different.
genetics.
Yeah.
Like, look at your Romero, like, absolute freak of nature. You know, whether he's been on gear or not, he'd still be a freak of nature.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, regardless to, you know, whether he's had any substance ever, the guy's a genetic freak and he'd have looked great anyway. So, you
It's like
know,
the same as Francis Ngannou as well. Look at Francis
yeah,
Ngannou, the
yeah,
way he's built. He's
Jackson, man.
built like a brick.
Yeah, no, for
Crazy.
sure.
What do you think of Ngannou going to? Well, it's not confirmed, but there's a lot of speculation that he's probably going to be signing with PFL.
Yeah. Mate, I think he's underappreciated in the UFC anyway. I think he's dead underappreciated in the UFC. I feel like they don't really like, I don't know, they don't really bump him how they'll bump John Jones if he wins that belt, you know. I don't know. I feel like, yeah, I feel like they've lost something there. Like, he's a one of a kind, isn't he? Like, you
Yeah.
know, God given power. And yeah, he's interesting. I can't believe they've lost him. Bit gutted about it, to be honest, but hopefully we see him in some good other, you know, contests. And yeah, I know obviously Tyson
I think
Fury, that could be crazy. That'd be fun.
that'll be fun. I think
Because
it's
he can knock anybody out. So, like,
yeah,
you know,
definitely. It's
no
not.
one doubts that.
He's got a chance.
Yeah, for
He's got a
sure, mate. When
puncher's
you can knock
chance.
people out, you've always got a chance.
I think I'm a huge fan of the UFC. I think I'll always be the biggest UFC fan. I mean, what they've done for the sport, has been phenomenal.
Yeah,
The
for sure.
company, and they put on the best fights every single weekend. But I do think it's interesting to see the growth of other. Bellator was always there, but always knew that it's the second promotion, but everyone always knew that the UFC was miles better. But now you're
Yeah,
looking at PFL, and PFL have got some seriously good fighters now,
yeah,
and
no,
I
for
think
sure.
it's just good for the growth of the sport entirely to have two or three really competitive promotions. I mean, one championship is another one as well, but they're not really just centered around MMA. They do kickboxing and Muay Thai and
Yeah,
grappling,
I love it. I
but
love
I
it.
think it's just good for the sport. Yeah,
What they're doing is amazing. I love that they have like a grappler on the same card as an MMA fight and things like that. Like, yeah, it's really interesting. People are getting paid, mate. Like, people are getting properly paid now, and yeah, that's that's where I want to fucking head. Like, I'm like there ready. You know what I mean? I just need to run at it and give it my best shot. Hopefully can keep going till I'm like 35 or longer. Just depends on the
well, long,
body. It just depends
bro,
on the body.
you're soon 31. You're still super young, bro. Look at Glover Teixeira, 42 years
Yeah,
old,
yeah.
fighting for a world
Yeah,
championship.
but fucking hell, like
Yeah. No, but what
fucking
I'm saying,
getting banged
obviously,
about at 40 something. Like, oh, I don't know. I don't know. I'll have to start boxing in the local place, the beach home.
do you know what it is, bro? Just when you think it's almost time, just call out a couple of YouTubers.
Mate, yeah. The thing is, though, no YouTuber wants to fight fucking Jack from Grimsby. But if you want to give me the opportunity, mate, please, because I could do with a fucking paycheck every now and then. Like,
Oh,
like when you see these guys fighting these YouTubers now, I think it's fun, man. I like it. It's fun. I like what they bring to the sport and the different eyes they bring to it, and I like to see people get paid too. So it's all good. I like it. I think too many people cry about it, but yeah, just got to enjoy it.
I think I mean, there was KSI's Misfit boxing event on last night, which as far as what they're doing business wise, they're doing a phenomenal job. I mean, I personally think it's a bit
Yeah,
cringy to watch, but some of the fights were actually good last night. Obviously,
yeah,
the quality of the fights aren't fucking anywhere crazy, but like they're still kind of entertaining fights. So the matchmaking is still doing well, and I think obviously the guy at the forefront of it all is Jake Paul. I think what
yeah,
Jake Paul's doing, you
yeah,
can't even knock on it. Like you've got to respect what he's doing because he's
yeah. I
doing it
like it.
properly.
I think it's good. I think it's good for the sport. I
And
think we're doing good. I think like you want to see fighters get paid. Like I think that's amazing. Yeah, he's obviously PFL. Yeah, fucking hell. I mean, he's gonna get submitted. Like he's a white belt at the end of the
yeah,
day. Like, anyone could submit him, but you fucking box that dude. Like you're in trouble. Like he can box. Like and he's powerful. So yeah, I think
well,
too many people discredit him. Like they talk about him like he's useless, and it's crazy.
I know. Joe Rogan has a really good point on it. He says if you were seeing if Jake Paul wasn't who he was and you were seeing this fucking kid come up, knock out Tyron Woodley, knock down Anderson Silva in his
Yeah,
fourth
yeah,
professional fight, you'd be like, who the fuck is this? This is like a serious talent. But because it's Jake Paul and because these guys are like obviously at the end of their careers. Mate, you look at how many pro boxers become 10-0, 11-0 fighting fucking
Yeah,
nobodies.
yeah, no, 100%. I agree with you. I think, yeah, I think that's bang on. Too many people discredit him. He's really good. You just got to forget about his YouTube stuff and just look at him as an actual, you know, early doors professional boxer. And yeah, he's chinning people and actually chinning some fucking good people. I know some of them are MMA fighters, and I'm not one of them where I think all MMA fighters can box. There are a few, but yeah, he's knocked out a world champion in our sport. So there's a lot of fucking good fighters that couldn't do it. He's not bad. He's good, really good.
No, for sure. What do you think about the trilogy between Leon and Kamaru Usman
Oh,
that's been officially
unbelievable!
announced as well?
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm excited for that. Obviously, rooting for Leon. Obviously, yeah. I can't believe it. I can't believe that head kick, man. The way he
Mate,
just absolutely set him up, and but
I've
yeah, like
not
I
spoke
went and
about it.
seen them all train, and mate, they're so good. They're so fucking good.
Oh, so good. I mean, I've not spoken about it, I don't think, on here. But being able to be there to see that moment was fucking bonkers, bro. Now,
Yeah,
I remember when I filmed
blew the
when
lid
there
off
was
the place,
the
didn't it?
yeah, when there was the UFC in London in July, I did a video with Adam Catterall, and I very naively was talking about in the build up Tom Aspinall, how he's going to be the next British UFC champion. And then Carol was like, "Oh, do you not think Leon Edwards is going to do it?" And at that time, I was like, "I can't see it happening. I just think Usman
Yeah,
was too good, and he almost was too good." And then obviously fight week, I was around Leon. I was like, "Oh mate, I fucking hope he wins." I still had my doubts though. Being truthfully
yeah,
honest, I mean, and as much as I want to back the British guy, and I was backing the British guy, when you look at what Usman's done, it was hard to not bet for him. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
And then
I stopped
the
doubting him a long
first round,
time.
yeah, and then the first round comes out, and Leon takes him down and mounts him and takes his back.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh my god! And then it went on, and I was like, oh fuck, like he's gonna lose it. And I cannot explain to you like the the feeling and the emotion that went through that arena when that head kick landed was something
I
I
can
have
only imagine, man.
never and will
Blew
never
the lid off.
ever experience.
Looked insane. Insane. Well, it's iconic, isn't it? It's an iconic moment in the sport, and yeah, Leon part of it. I mean, yeah, I'll never doubt him again. I mean, I stopped doubting him a long time ago. I thought he was going to lose to a guy called Wayne Murray, a really good guy from Doncaster back in the day, um, and I just thought it was an easy fight for Wayne Murray. I was actually in the same changing room fighting on the same day as Leon for that fight. I was watching him warm up, and I was thinking, oh, who's this guy? But like before that, I only knew Wayne, so I was thinking this guy's going to lose. And mate, he just went out there and just shocked everybody. Then become a Bama champion, and yeah, never doubted him since. Obviously, went to train with him, sparred with him, and yeah, I just think he's the best in the world. Obviously, I've seen it, and yeah, he's the best in the world. It's phenomenal, and it was nice to be around him as well. Such a nice fucking guy, him and his brother.
He is such a good guy, man.
Yeah, cool guy, cool team, and yeah, somewhere else I'm going to pop to. Into next year. Once I get my injuries sorted, I'll be visiting places here and there. Like there's a lot of places in the UK, a lot of coaches in the UK that I want to pick their brains and learn from them. And a lot that I want to
I,
go back and visit as well. So it'll be good. It'll be good.
I mean, that's also another great thing about what Leon did. I mean, he's just proved that you can become a world champion in the UK. Because obviously, you had Michael Bisping, who was the first British guy to do it, but he did it training in America. And Leon is the first guy to show everyone in the UK that you don't need to leave the UK and you can do it over here. And I
Yeah,
just think that's just such an important message for British MMA. And he's done so much for British MMA with what he's achieved in his career so far. And I think there's still so much more for him to give as well. And I honestly think that I think he's going to stop Kamaru Usman again. I really do. I don't know what it is. I just feel like he's going to do it, and he's going to do it quicker than he did last time.
yeah. No, I do. I think actually being in the comfort of the UK as well. I think it's going to make a massive difference. I think you're going to see a totally different Leon. I actually think he was having a bad night that night where he obviously, he pulled it out of the bag and he finished. But I think he was having a bit of a bad night. So, yeah, I think
Not bad
When
for a
it's on
bad
it
night.
in London, yeah, I know, but you know what I mean. Like I felt like he
Yeah, no,
was
I
just
noticed.
struggling to get going. He was struggling to get into his game. That's what it looked like for me, anyway. Because obviously I've watched him for a long time, and you start to realize like, oh, actually, he might be having an off day here. He's not doing his usual, and yeah, he pulled it out of the bag though, so it don't matter. And I'm sure he's
Yeah.
gonna smash it in London.
Are you going to be going?
Do you know what? Actually, I am pretty interested in going, but if not, I want to watch it in here. Obviously, got a TV here and just like a little hangout spot. So get all the lads, all the team in this way. So it'll be good. It'll be really good.
Okay, nice. I'm definitely going to get tickets
So
again.
I'll end up grappling on the mat probably, but it'll be good chaos.
Good chaos. Well, Jack, I think that's pretty much really it, bro. Have you got
Yeah, mate, sick.
any final remarks?
No, just keep an eye out. I will be looking to get active. I've got a lot of goals in Jiu Jitsu. I've got a lot of goals in MMA. I've been talking to my manager. Things are looking like I've got some really good doors to open, basically, and yeah, it could be most likely the best year of my career for sure. And next year I'll be in an even better place, ready to go. So just keep following, and if you want to learn jiu-jitsu when you're local, pop in Grant Combat Academy. We're not like all those other guys. Like it's not a cult. It's not a fucking. You're not all bowing and Kiara and all that shit in a gi. You just come in, learn jiu-jitsu, have a laugh with the lads, and yeah, peace out. No, it's good. Been good talking to you.
My guy. Well, I've got a lot of time for you, bro. You're a fucking phenomenal guy. Really,
Yeah,
really
no,
nice
I
guy.
have you as well.
Unbelievable fighter. And I always say this. I really, really learned so much being around you guys, and I'll forever be grateful because for the stage that I'm at, so young in my career, in doing this, or I think I'd still like to give fighting a bit of a go once I'm healed up.
Yeah,
But like it's not a high level, like I just took on so much from watching you guys train and being around you guys and the attitude that you guys have. Like I just learned so much important stuff about MMA. So I'll always be grateful for that, bro. And I'm
oh,
I'm
no,
glad to
thank
know
you,
you.
man. Hey, it's sick. I've been texting you for ages, telling you as well
Yeah,
with the stuff you've been doing with the podcast and the traveling and the videos you've been doing. Like you're talented, and like without just think outside the box and dare to be who you want to be. You know what I mean? And yeah, that's what you're doing, isn't it?
my guy.
You know, it's good. It's good. It's good to see, mate. No, you're doing really well, and obviously, you know, our little group and that we all talk, don't we? So, and we're all saying the
Mate,
same
and by the way,
thing. You
give a
know, it's
little
good.
shout out as well. Lauren, how well is Lauren doing? She's going to be fighting in Serbia
Oh,
soon.
unreal. Yeah. Yeah. No, really good. Yeah. No, she was going to come down here actually and train recently, but unfortunately couldn't like fit it in on the travel because it was big travel. But I'm sure I'll see her soon, and yeah, she's doing amazing.
But
So
yeah,
yeah,
right. So guys, thank you very much for tuning in. In the bottom, I'll put all of Jack's contact details, all of his social media handles, Grant Comeback Academy. That's all be in there in the description. Go give it a watch. Give Jack a follow. Watch his fights because he's a fucking entertaining fighter, and there's not a single fight you'll be bored at. And yeah, the best of Jack Grant is still yet to come, and it's going to be a big year for
100%.
him. So make sure you love and support him. But Jack, thank you a lot, brother.
Hey, thank you, mate. I appreciate you having me on, and yeah, no, I'll speak to you soon anyway. And yeah, thank you.
My guy. Peace.
Oosh.